Hello everyone. Hi Nan, hi Simba, Jyoti, Neha, Arshi, Vedant. Welcome everyone. Let me just adjust the screen a little bit. Okay. Welcome everyone. We will today talk about how essentially you can prepare for the LRDI section for CAT, and if time permits, hopefully I will also discuss couple of sets, one LR set and one DI set. Before that, before I start off with the session and go ahead with today's PPT, I just want to ask couple of fundamental questions from you guys, if you can answer. So what is your current level? What are you doing currently for LRDI preparation? What all is covered? If you can just give me a brief idea of your current status of preparation, that will effectively, help me in figuring out what do you actually need. Eight questions in mock, practicing LRDI, not so much. Are you guys targeting, is everyone here targeting CAT 21, or is there anyone who is maybe looking beyond CAT 21 for CAT 22 as well? Okay. I think it's fairly, the right set of crowd that I wanted to talk to about. So let's begin. And throughout this presentation, so to say, there isn't much, to be really honest, to present. I will discuss a couple of questions, and that will be the main part. And I'll also talk about a little bit about the syllabus, a little bit about the topics that you guys need to cover. So Rohit 007, my primary focus today is going to be CAT 21 students. So let's start with that. And if you have any follow-ups, please, you are more than welcome to discuss them. Now, first of all, for those of you who might be attending my class for the first time, my name is Ravi Handa. I have been teaching for CAT for close to 15 years now. I taught at IMS, Time, Career Launcher, all the leading CAT coaching institutes. And after that, I started my own website with the name handagafunda.com, through which I taught 20,000 plus students online. And after that, the website got acquired by Unacademy, and now I teach all my classes on Unacademy. So I take a lot of free classes, a lot of paid classes as well. On Unacademy, the paid classes are of two categories, Plus and Iconic. In the Plus courses, you get live classes very similar to this one, but you get them in a structure. That is, do this, do this, do this. A particular order is followed. In the Iconic one, you get personalized guidance as well. This personalized guidance is provided to you via a one-on-one live mentorship program. And what I mean by this live mentorship program is you can call these guys up, you can set a meeting with them, you can clarify your doubts with them. And most of these mentors, not really students, so most of these mentors have been students for top B schools like IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, and so on. As far as courses are concerned, every teacher keeps on launching courses. Personally, I can see a lot of you guys are already subscribed. My course for arithmetic for CAT 21 is starting from 1st of September, and you guys can join that from this link. I've pinned that. If you're planning to prepare for CAT 21, my recommendation would be to go in for the 6-month plan, which is for 16,400. Use the coupon code HANDA to get 10% off. And for CAT 22, I would recommend the Iconic plan for 12 months, which is for 39,500. Once again, you can use the coupon code HANDA to get 10% off on that. You'll get 3 additional months extra with it. So basically, if you register now, the course will be valid till CAT 22. And that's broadly the offerings. Now, If you have any questions, please let me know. If not, then I'll start off with whatever couple of slides that I have got. So Rohit is asking, tell me the short roadmap. I'm taking the plus course also. Rohit, this is the problem. First of all, you're looking for a shortcut. There are no shortcuts. I think, Rohit, I read above you are looking at CAT 22. So then, Rohit, my recommendation to you would be that there are multiple batches which keep on launching for CAT 22. Do not join a CAT 21 batch. Join a CAT 22 batch because it will move at a certain pace. It will give you an idea of how you need to structure your preparation, how you need to plan stuff out. See, because CAT 21 is on the head right now. It's barely 3 months away. So people are in panic. They are trying to cover as much as they can and as quickly as they can, which can cause a lot of confusion. And that is the reason why I would recommend that you should stick to CAT 22 batches. Independent classes, independent topics. Say, for example, if you need help with arithmetic specifically, you can join my arithmetic course. But do not join my arithmetic course thinking it will prepare you properly and absolutely 100% for CAT 22 in mind. No. If I was taking a course for arithmetic for CAT 22, I will make it at least a 40 class course because there is a lot of time. I like to take that time. This course is probably a 20-hour course, half of that. Why? Because now I need to prioritize the amount of time that is left for CAT 21 students. So before we actually start with the LRDI prep and the topics which are involved, just to give you a brief idea of the entire thing, the CAT paper is, it's the arithmetic course is for CAT 21, so maybe not something that I would recommend. Or Rohit, join it, try it for 2 classes. If you like it, continue. If you don't like it, don't continue. By कोई class थोड़ी है that I'll mind कि no, the student is not there or anything like that. So give it a shot. So what I was saying is, in CAT nowadays, you have 76 questions. Out of those 76 questions, 24 questions are dedicated to LR and DI. And the marking scheme is you get 3 marks for all correct answers. But if it is an objective type question, then 1 mark is deducted. If it is a theta type question, then nothing is deducted and you get a 0 for not attempted as well. For example, some of the questions that we will be doing today. Okay, so this is a set that we will be discussing later today. Now, in this question, percentage profit in 2018. Now, this is a theta type of question where a blank is given and you need to enter the value. So, if you get this question correct, you will get a +3. If you get this question wrong, you will get a -1. This question is an objective type question. Sorry. If you get this question wrong, you will get a 0. If you do not attempt it, you will still get a 0. Since this is an objective type of question, you will get +3, -1 for wrong, and 0 for not attempted. So that's the distinction in these 2 types of questions as far as the marking scheme is concerned. Does that mean you should guess these? No. This is not GK. This is LRDI. This is math. How will you guess percentage profit? It could be any percentage. So these questions, in 90% of the cases, these questions are not guessable. So you cannot really do much in these. If you want to look at it from a paper pattern perspective, then these 24 questions are divided into 5 sets. Now, we do not have a lot of data, because only CAT 20 is the only exam that has taken place with this particular pattern. But based upon that, this is what I would like to project, that there will be 5 sets this year in CAT 21. 3 will be based purely on LR, 1 would be based purely on DI, and one would be a combination of LR and DI, where you need to use both your skills, your data interpretation skills and your logical reasoning skills. Both of these would be required. What exactly do I mean by logical reasoning? What exactly do I mean by data interpretation? I'll talk about it a little bit later. But so out of these 5 sets, you can see one set is 4 questions, one set is 6 questions. Actually, in totality, there are 3 sets of 4 questions, which will give you 12. There are 2 sets of 6 questions, which will give you 12. Does this mean, you should only attempt the 4 question sets because that will be easy, or the 6 question sets that will be hard? No. Please do not go in the paper with this sort of preconceived notion. It would be wrong. It is not true that 6 question sets are hard and 4 question sets are easy. There is no correlation. I looked at all the sets from CAT 2020. I could spot no such pattern. Yes, there were hard sets, there were easy sets, but there were hard and easy sets in 6 questions also. There were hard and easy sets in 4 questions also. So there is no such, discernible pattern that you can see will happen in one or the other. I hope you are okay with this sort of reasoning. Then there is another thing which you need to keep in mind. That is, okay, I'll get to that. Before that, someone was asking, so Rohit, we have a batch which is starting for CAT 22 from the 25th of August. You can join that. For the students who are targeting Maharashtra CET or CAT 21, they could join their batches as well. Now, this is another very, very important slide that I have on your screen today, which is how many questions do I need to do in LRDI and how many questions do I need to do in the overall paper? Now, depends on what your target is. First of all, your target should not be substantially higher than what you are getting in mocks in October. So suppose in the month of October, you take 5 mocks, for example. Now, out of these 5 mocks, you will get different percentiles in them. Suppose in one mock you get 80 percentile, in one mock you get 92 percentile, in one mock you get 87 percentile, and so on. What you do is you find out your median percentile. Please don't take average, because what happens in case of average is one very bad score can, ruin the entire thing. So take the median of these 5 mocks, whatever is your median. Suppose your median percentile comes out to be 85 percentile. Then, and I'm saying on October, in the month of October, you are doing this analysis. If your median percentile comes out as 85 percentile, then you should target 95 percentile in CAT. If your median percentile comes out as something between 90 to 95, then you should target 95 to 98 percentile in the exam. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, so if you're getting 85-19 mocks, your target should be 90 to 95 in the paper. If you're getting 90 to 95 in mocks, your target should be 95 to 98 in the paper. If you're getting 95 to 98 in mocks, your target should be 99 plus. This is how you need to set your targets. The problem is people get less than 80 percentile in mocks and then they target 99 plus, and then they think that, oh, I need to attempt this much to get this much marks. That is where the problem happens. And that's why I'm saying don't take one mock as an idea. I'm not telling you to take the average. I'm telling you to take the median score and then do an analysis. Best thing is if all your 5 scores are, in this range. If all 5 scores are 95 to 98 or 90 to 95, that is the best thing that shows consistently what is your level, what you can target, and how your preparation is going. But if that is not the case, Then you can take your median score and then decide your range. And once you do that, then you look at how much is required. Now, officially it has been announced that it is a 2-hour exam. So I'm guessing it is a 76 question paper. I don't think an official announcement for the number of questions has come out, at least not yet. So in this case, my recommendation is that you look at the numbers for both. So these were the numbers, you know, in the previous years from 2016 to 2019. Roughly 1/3 gave you a 90 percentile. Roughly 40% gave you a 95, and roughly 50% or half the paper gave you a 98, 99. Obviously, all this happened in a 3-hour paper. So if your paper has dropped to a 2-hour paper, the numbers would reduce. So it has reduced to 21 out of 76, around a little more than 1/4. 19 will be 1/4. 25, so this is around 1/3. 32, 34, so it's still a little bit lesser, significantly lesser than 50, because 50% would have been 38. So substantially lesser than 50 is what you need to attempt. This is for your overall score. Please understand, at top colleges, it is not just your overall score that is going to matter. What is also going to matter is that you need to clear the sectional cutoff. The sectional cutoffs are, for most colleges, you know, it's sometimes it's 80 percentile, sometimes it's 75, sometimes it's 90. I don't think the sectional percentile ever crosses, sectional cutoff ever crosses 90 percentile for any of these colleges. And in that case, for LRDI last year, you needed only 7 questions. So boss, you had to do 2 sets in 40 minutes. 2 sets in 40 minutes, and honestly speaking, I think 2 sets are going to be enough this year as well, until and unless the paper is ridiculously easy or ridiculously difficult. And that hasn't been the case for the past many years. Look at it. LRDI has always been low scoring since we have started capturing the data. Math, not so much. Low, high, low, keeps on shuffling. Verbal always used to be high. LRDI always used to be low. So your goal in the exam, again and again, I'm repeating, you need to solve 2 sets. So if you even spend 2-3 minutes on a set, don't think that, oh, I've already spent so much time, I should need to attempt it. No. Spending 2-3 minutes on a set for rejecting it is absolutely fine. Because even if you reject 3 sets, after spending 2-3 minutes on it, only 10 minutes are gone. In 30 minutes, you are now needed to do the other 2 sets. So 15 minutes per LRDI set is more than enough, assuming you would have picked the easy one. And if you have spent so much time, picking the easy one should not be that difficult. Before I move on to syllabus, do you guys have any other questions? Anything else that you want to ask? Please go ahead. If you are okay with whatever we have discussed till now, please give me a thumbs up. How to improve accuracy? Neha, the best possible way, and okay, this is another thing, you know, which I will like to discuss with students. So, may I, I'll answer your question eventually, but this is something that I would recommend. Now, I'm sure some of you, if not all of you, would have taken a few mocks. The next set of advice that I'm giving with respect to LRDI prep is for people who have taken more than 5 mocks till now. More than 5 mocks till now. Otherwise, you know, this advice that doesn't make sense right now. Or you can implement this advice once you have taken 5 mocks. If you have taken 3, take 2 more mocks and then try and implement this advice. Now, in these 5 mocks, how is your LRDI going? So if you are scoring less than or equal to 90 percentile in LRDI, then your goal should be to get to 90 percentile. And this is sectional score that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about overall score. If you're scoring more than 90 in LRDI, then your goal should be to score a 95 percentile in LRDI. If you are actually scoring more than 95 percentile in LRDI, then you can leave the class. There is nothing else that I have to teach you. If you are already above 95 in a section, maybe you should be practicing some more questions. I don't have anything to offer. Then, if you are in either of these two categories, they have different strategies on how to get from less than 90 to 90 and how to get from 90 to 95. The problem that I have seen in people who are not able to score 90 percentile in LRDI is that they, try to attempt too much. They try to attempt too much. The problem with them is they think that, okay, I need to do 3 sets to get to a 99 percentile. And somehow they attempt third set, they are never able to attempt 2 second set, they get wrong and it messes up. So for these people, my recommendation is that you take 6 sectional tests. In these 6 sectional tests, in the first 3 tests, attempt only 1 set. Now this 1 set could be 4 set questions, this 1 set could be 6 questions, I don't know, I don't care. But you will attempt only 1 set. Now you will think that, oh, I'm done with that 1 set in only 20 minutes. What do I do with the other 20 minutes? Nothing. Sit and watch the screen. Revise the question. Ensure that you have not made an error. In the next three, you attempt 2 sets. But always remember, your goal is in the first 3 mocks that you are attempting, in the first 3 sectional tests that you are attempting, whatever set you are attempting, all 4 questions or all 6 questions should be correct for that. What happens is, if you go in with this sort of a mindset, the pressure of time will go away from you. If you go in with this sort of a mindset, all you need to do, all you need to understand is that one particular set. So you have the freedom to spend as much time as you want on various categories, on various 5 ही तो set है exam में यार. So you will have enough time to figure out which of the 5 sets do I need to do. Once you do this consistently for 3 times, that you attempted 4 questions, got all 4 correct, attempted 4 questions, got all 4 correct, then that would mean that you are now ready to take your preparation to the next level, which is that you attempt 2 sets. And getting 2 sets correct, all correct, will essentially push you above the 90 percentile category. Again, when you are attempting 2 sets, go into the paper, go into the sectional test considering kuch bhi ho jaye, whatever happens, I will never attempt more than 2 sets. These are the only 2 sets that I am going to do. So spend time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever amount of time that you have to spend, you spend on finding out which are the best 2 sets that I am going to attempt. Trust me, I have recommended this for the past many years, and multiple students have benefited by it, because when they go into LRDI, they try to do every set. Okay, maybe this is easy, this is hard. अरे यार ये बन रहा है मुझसे, मैं ये अभी कर लेता हूँ. नहीं. That sort of strategy, that is the sort of advice I will give to a topper. So let's say I do have some advice for people who are 95 percentile plus, but I'll avoid that right now, because I'm more interested in the fundamental problems that people are having. So this is what I would recommend to someone who is in this particular category, who is under 90 percentile in LRDI prep. Then what to do if you're scoring around 90 but you want to go to 95? Trust me, it's much easier to get to 90. The challenge is to get to 95, 96, 97. There, what you need to do is, you have 5 sets. You have 5 sets. Now, what you need to do is, after the paper is done, you rank these 5 sets in a priority order that is from easy to difficult. Now, you might think that, no, how will I say that this is easier than B or B is easier than A? I don't know, man. It's a very personal decision. It's a very personal call. Give the paper, wait for 5 days so that it is not fresh in your head. After 5 days, without the pressure of time, go through all the questions, go through all the official solutions. If there is a video solution available, go through that. Spend, maybe instead of a 40-minute test, spend 80 minutes on it, spend 100 minutes on it. Do not worry about time. Please understand that your idea is to improve. And then what you do is, you rank all 5 of them, A, B, C, D, E, where E was the toughest, A was the easiest. And then see which sets did you attempt in the exam. If you attempted A and B, good. If you attempted A, B and D, bad. You need to make this mental note that, oh, I attempted the 3rd set, maybe I got it right, maybe I got 2 questions right, 2 questions wrong. Logically speaking, when will I get more marks? So I did these 4 correct, I did these 4 correct, and out of these 6, I did 3 out of 6 correct. Obviously, I will get more marks here. But if you are learning from me, please take my advice very seriously. 4 plus 4 is better than 4 plus 4 plus 3 out of 6 from a hard set, because you are limiting your scope of improvement. You are not following the process. You should be happy. You should be happy when you do the easiest 3 sets in the exam. The 3 sets that you picked in the mock test were the same 3 sets that you picked without the pressure of time, when you had infinite time, when you had the solution in front of you, when you had understood everything around it. If you are able to do this, that is the metric of success, not how many questions I did, how many I got correct, how many I got wrong, what did I attempt, what I did not attempt. Because when we talk about analyzing mocks, especially for LRDI preparation, people discuss among them only very trivial issues. How many questions did you do? Did you do that set? Did you do this set? Oh, that set was very simple. I attempted n questions. I got all correct, wrong. No. Every section tests you on a different thing. In math, I just took a class on my YouTube channel where I talked about prep for math. In math, the main skill is getting a very high accuracy. In math, even if you attempt a hard question, get it right, get it wrong, don't care. Even if you attempt a hard question, you will not lose too much. But in LRDI, if you select the wrong set, that can make a lot of difference. See, right now, mock tests have no pressure. In the main exam, you will have immense amount of pressure on your head. So the first set that you pick, by chance you pick a difficult set in the beginning itself, after 5 minutes, you realize that, oh, this is not happening. 90% of these students will mess up the other 35 minutes also, because they are faced with, "Arey, mere 5 minutes kharab ho gaye, ab main kya karunga? I have less time. What will I do? I have not done anything in the first 7 minutes, 8 minutes." So you don't need to get into that loop in the paper. So how do you actually improve in that paper? It is by putting in the hard work right now. There is no other way to do it. Do not look at, for people who are above 95 and who are above 90 and want to improve their score, stop looking at questions, attempted answers, correct, and all of that. What you should be looking at is whether I picked the 2 easiest sets or not, the 3 easiest sets or not, the 4 easiest sets or not. That is what your goal should be with respect to the paper. Again. Okay. Any questions? Anything else that you want to ask? So I think I started this discussion with Neha talking about how to improve accuracy. So Neha, I would recommend to you this strategy for the next 3 mock test, the next 3 sectional tests, go with the mind I'll attempt only 1 set. After that, go with the mind that I'll attempt only 2 sets. And whenever you are attempting, focus all your energy in picking the easiest sets. Easiest pick करेंगे तो how we will practice? Simba, I'm not sure if I understand your question. Simba, not sure. I still don't understand. I'm sorry. Itisha, how much time should I invest in selection of easy sets? So Itisha, that depends upon what level you are at right now. If so, depending upon whatever level you are at right now, it has to be maybe 2 to 3 minutes on a per set basis is not a bad idea. Maybe 2 to 3 minutes on a per set basis is not a bad idea to invest. The graph of score versus percentile for above 95. Here you go. This is what you were asking. Okay. Now, then comes the other part. Honestly speaking, this isn't very useful, but I thought that there might be some students from CAT 22 who will be here. So I wanted to put it out for them. For CAT 21 students, this isn't of much use. That what is the syllabus? To be really honest, there isn't any syllabus for LRDI, but we still need something to organize our preparation, to structure our preparation. How do I do that? This is how I do that. This is the series of topics that you can do to actually improve in LR and DI. So I've divided the topics into 2 categories. The level 1 topics, these kind of form the base for your preparation. This is, this part of the class is specifically for CAT 22 students. So this is the basic topics. You will never get a question on CAT from these, but they will help you build a base on which you can improve. Questions on topics that do get asked in the exam, they are typically from this set. Bar graphs, pie chart, tables, pan balance, linear arrangements, games and tournaments, critical path problems. So these are some of the common types of problems which are asked. Now what you can do with this information is maybe you can Google around and find a couple of sets on these. And that's okay. Yeah. So these were the level 1 and the level 2 topics that I had lined out. This is mostly for CAT 22 students if they are planning their preparation. At Unacademy, we have also started a campus ambassador program. Maybe you can chat with the support and they'll give you more details about it. Then comes the next question of what should I do for preparation of LRDI in the time that is left? Okay. Step 1. CAT 2017 to CAT 2020. Can you tell me how many sets appeared from CAT 2017 to CAT 2020 in LRDI? Anyone? This shouldn't be that difficult for you. If you are a serious CAT aspirant, you should know this pretty easily. No one is able to answer it. I'm surprised, and that shows your lack of preparation. 9 Vedant, no. How many sets appeared for LRDI in all papers combined from CAT 2017 to CAT 2020? Because, before CAT 2017, the paper wasn't available publicly. The paper started becoming available publicly from CAT 2017. So that's why I'm asking you this value, that since what is the total number of sets which are available publicly. Okay, I'll give you the answer. CAT 2017 was held in 2 slots. So that is 8 sets each. As a matter of fact, 2017, 2018, 2019, they were all held in 2 slots. All of them had 8 sets. So that is effectively 8 into 2 into 3. So that is 48 sets. CAT 2020 was held in 3 slots. And in each slot, there were 5 sets. So that is 15 sets, which means a total of 63 sets. First step that you need to do in your preparation is do these 63 sets. Do these 63 sets. How do you do it? Dedicate 1 or 2 days of the week. Now, depending upon how good you are in quant verbal, let's say if you are good in verbal, if you are good in quant, then I would recommend that you give verbal 2 or 3 days a week, quant you give 2 or 3 days a week, and LRDI you give 1 or 2 days a week. Now, which one should be higher? Should it be 331? Which one should be lesser? That should be decided purely upon the basis of what is your strongest section and what is your weakest section. If quant is your strongest section, you can give it only 2 days. If LRDI is your strongest section, you can give it only 1 day. So depending upon whatever you are good at, whatever you are bad at, you dedicate days. See, there are 2 ways of planning your preparation. One method which a lot of people like to follow is the method of, I will study for 5 hours every day, 2 to quant, 2 to verbal, and 1 to LRDI. The other strategy, that's fine, but it's very difficult to be perfectly disciplined in that. The problem with that strategy is that whatever you like, you will study it first, you will study it with a fresh mind. Whatever you dislike, whatever your weak area is, that kind of just hangs around and you are not really able to, do very well in it. So the way to improve this, the method to actually do this, so that you don't face this problem, is by dedicating days. So if you have dedicated Friday to LRDI, then this problem will not happen. If you have dedicated days, because on that day you will be just doing LRDI. Once you divide your time this way, then on your LRDI days, if you have done some of it already, well and good. If you have not done some of it already, then my recommendation is your goal by September 30th. If you do not do anything else, all of these 63 sets you should have gone through. You should have absolute clarity on all of them. Please understand, in a lot of these sets, they are not worth attempting in the exam. A lot of these sets, I'll say out of these 63 sets, 20 plus sets are so bad it would be foolish to attempt them. At least 20 sets are horrible out of these 63. Now, if they are horrible out of these 63, why am I telling you to, even spend time on it, or rather waste time on it? The reason why I'm suggesting this to you is for the very, very simple reason. On the same idea, on the same concept, a simpler question might get asked. Your mind will be able to see various patterns, various ideas which emerge in these. And you will get to learn what is the level of the questions that gets asked in the exam. So this is step one. This is the minimum that you need to do till 30th of September. If most of this is already covered, thanks, say for example, if you had subscribed to my LRDI course, so I took a course on LR in the month of July in which I covered a lot of these questions. I took a course in the month of August. Tomorrow is the last class for that particular course for DI, in which I again covered a lot of these questions. So if you have been studying, then you have surplus time. Step 2, CAT 2002 to 2008 papers. This is what you should be doing. Now, suppose you are not able to finish it by September 30th, then what? No problem, finish it till October 15th. There is no other resource, there is nothing that is better than previous year CAT papers. And until and unless you do this, any book that you are referring, any video that you are watching, any other practice sets, I personally conduct the must do LRDI episodes on this particular channel itself. Do not come and watch those if you are not able to finish this. This should be your first priority. I do not have a PDF, but I have the links for that. So do one thing, you can, are you enrolled in the course? No. I don't think so. I don't see a subscribe thing. Anyways, doesn't matter. This is my email ID. Drop me an email on this. I will, and write properly in the email. I get random emails. Sir, wo links bhej dena. Please send sets. Boss, I don't really know who you are, which set you are talking about, what the conversation is. So send proper information. I'll send you the links for it. So this is essentially the preparation plan. This is essentially the preparation schedule that you can use. Now, there are a couple of things. So I have a couple of questions. One is an LR set, one is a DI set. I don't think we will be able to do both of them. So you can have one of them as practice and the other one I will solve. So let me try and solve the DI set just to give you a little bit of practice. And if you have any other questions that you want to ask other than, I thought the reason why I kept the practice set, very frankly, is because sometimes people think, "Arey, aadmi aaya, gyan deke chala gaya." I don't want that to happen. You are here, at least one practice set we need to do. But still, before that, if you have any questions, please ask me. I'll try and answer those queries right away. Okay, going ahead. A large store has only 3 departments: clothing, produce, and electronics. And the following figure shows the percentage of revenue and cost in the 3 departments from 2016, 17, and 18. Now, the dotted lines depict the percentage levels. So, for example, in 2016, 50% of the store revenue came from its electronics department. So, this is the data that you should be able to analyze. So, look at this. Electronics. This is the outermost point for 2016. My dotted lines are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So that is the distribution for revenue. In 2016, electronics was 50%, clothing is 10 and 20%, and produce is 10, 20, 30%. Are you guys okay with this data? Okay, so if you are okay with this data, that is all that is required. Let's see. In this setup, profit is computed as revenue minus cost, and percentage profit is profit by cost into 100, your regular profit stuff. The percentage profit for the store in 2016 was 100%. So what does that mean? That means in 2016, whatever was the value of revenue, that was double the cost. The percentage profit for the store is 100%. That means revenue is double the cost. Do I have the exact values anywhere? No, I don't. So I can assume, let me assume in 2016, the cost was 100. So the revenue was 200. How will it get distributed? It will be distributed in three categories: ECP, and cost will also get distributed in the three categories: ECP. How is this going to get distributed? Cost in ECP. Cost 2016 in ECP, blue one. Electronics is 30%, clothing is 30%, produce is 40%. So 30, 30 and 40 rupees, I'm assuming 100 as my base value. So ECP will be 30, 30, 40. Are you guys okay with these values for 2016 for cost? For revenue for 2016, electronics is 50%, 50, 20 and 30%. 50, 20, 30, 50, 20, 30, but percent. So 50, 20, 30% will become 100, 40 and 60. Are you okay with these values? 50, 20, 30, 100, 40, 60. Now I will look at the next condition. The store's revenue doubled from 2016 to 2017. So in 2017, my revenue became 400. If in 2017 my revenue became 400, what is the distribution of revenue in 2017? So revenue in 2017 is electronics is 30%, clothing is 30, and produce is 40. 30, 30, 40. 30, 30, 40 of 400. So that is 120, 120, 160. Then the next one is cost doubled from 2016 to 2018. Let me use a different color. Green. Cost doubled from 2016 to 2018. So cost is 2016. Now in 2018, cost has become 200. What is the distribution of this cost? Cost, green, cost 30, 20, 50. 30, 20, 50. So 200, 30, 20, 50. So 60, 40 and 100. I'll pause here. Guys, if you're okay with this, please give me a thumbs up. Okay. Then there was no profit from the electronics department in 2017. No profit. Yeah, Mr. X, do you have a problem with any of the values? Mr. X, please tell me if you have a problem with any of the values. Okay, I'll assume there is none and I will go ahead. So there was no profit in the electronics department in 2017, which means in the electronics department, there is no profit. So whatever was my revenue, the same thing was my cost. So this is 120. Now, the revenue is equal to the cost for electronics in 2017. This can help me find out the other values. How? In 2017, what is the distribution of cost? In 2017, it is 40, 30, 30. And electronics is 40. If 40% comes out as 120, if 40% comes out as 120, my total is 300. And the others are 90. Basically, this will be 120 by 0.4 because this is 40%. And this will be, these two values will be 120 into 3 by 4 because 40% is this and I need the 3 by 4 values here. Are you guys okay with these values? What I will do is, I'll write the correct values in the table and explain how I got them below. So this is 120 by 0.4 and these two are 120 into 3 by 4. I hope you guys are okay with this set of values. Then only 2018 is left, only one condition is left. I'm 100% sure that I'll get the remaining data from this. In 2018, the revenue from clothing was the same as the cost from produce. So revenue from clothing is the same. Revenue in clothing is the same as the cost from produce. So this is 100. What is clothing? In revenue in clothing in 2018, revenue in clothing is 40%. This is produce is also 40% and this is 20%. So produce is also 40%, so that will be 100. Electronics is 20%, so that will be 50. See, this will be half of 100 and these two are given to me as equal to each other, which gives me the total value as 250. I hope you guys are okay with this particular set of values. Last one once more. So last sentence says revenue from clothing. So from clothing, this is the revenue figure, is the same as cost from produce. The cost from produce is 100. So this will be 100. Now, if I look at the percentage distribution in revenue in 2018, that is, I'm looking at these circled values, they are 20, 40, 40%, which means this is 20%, 40%, and 40%. Now, if 40% is 100, this 40% will also be 100, and this 20% will be 50, making the total is 250. Rohit, are you okay with this? Okay. Let's have a look at the questions now. Percentage profit of the store in 2018. 2018, cost 200, revenue 250, profit percentage 50 on a basis of 200. So this is 25%. ratio of revenue generated from produce in 2017 and 2018. Revenue from produce in 2017 and 2018 is 160 and 100. Which is 8 by 5. Yes, this is an actual CAT question. I think CAT 2019. CAT 2019. Then what percentages of the total profits in 2016 was from electronics? So in 2016, cost is 100, revenue is 200. So my profit is 100 total. I need specifically for electronics. For electronics, cost is 30, revenue is 100. So my profit is 70. The question is asking me what is the percentage of profit. So 70 by 100 into 100. So the percentage of profit is 70%. Are you okay with that? Then, what was the approximate difference in profit percentages of the store in 2017 and 2018? Okay. So in 2017, what are my figures? For the total store, we have to check now. So in 2017, it is going from 300 to 400, which is a growth of 100 or 33.33%. In 2018, it is going from 200 to 250, which is a growth of 25%. What is the difference of these values? 8.33%, which is given to me as option 4. So this was an actual question from CAT 2019. And, so I don't know if Mr. X was genuinely curious or he was surprised, but you don't want to be surprised looking at a CAT question. When you see a CAT question, especially from 2017 to 2018, it should be, oh, I have done this. This is the method to be used. Because if the same question will obviously never repeat, but the same method might get repeated. And you would want to counter that, you would want to take care of that. And that is the reason. This is the most important thing. If you have to have a one-line remembering, what did I learn in today's class? It should be, I promised myself I will do all questions from CAT 2017 to CAT 2020. So that I'm assuming Mr. X got surprised कि अरे इतना आसान question CAT में कैसे आया हुआ है? Exactly. But आते हैं, and you need to be. This is one of the easier sets. This is one of the easier sets. Now you can look at the other sets also. So that's the point. You need to go through previous year papers to understand how easy, how difficult it can be, so that your judgment becomes better, so that you can pick up the right type of sets in the actual exam and not make a foolish mistake. That being said, we are conducting our own special test this Sunday at 12 noon. You're more than welcome to take part in this test. The toppers in this test will get a bunch of gadgets and coupons and stuff. This is another set that I had picked up. This is also a CAT set. I don't think we have time for that because I have another class at 7:30. But this is primarily another set. Please try it out. Please try it out and see how it goes. In case you are able to solve it, brilliant. You will be able to download this PDF after this class. In case you are not able to solve it, then you can send me an email on hkfdoubt@gmail.com. I will take another class and solve this question for you. So please try this out. If you are able to solve it, good enough. Otherwise, all you need to do is take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of this, send it to me on hkfdoubt@gmail.com. I'll pick it. So I'm actually taking a doubt class on Sunday. So try today, solve it, good. Not able to solve it, send it to me. I'll discuss it in Sunday's class. And Unacademy has a Ask a Doubt feature on its own where you can click a picture, send it to us. Either me or someone from our team would reply, but that's a textual reply, sometimes a video reply, but I can discuss it in a live class as well. If you're planning to register for any of the courses, please use the coupon code HANDA. That will get you a 10% off. And that's it. That's pretty much it for today. Hope you guys like this. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And hopefully, especially for the people who are already enrolled, once again, a reminder, I'm taking an arithmetic course starting from the 1st of September. The link for that I've shared. You guys can go ahead and join that. And I hope to see you in the course. Mr. X, there is no fixed number, so to say. However, I do have a guess. This is what I guess will happen based upon previous years. 3 sets purely on LR, 1 set purely on DI, and 1 set for LR-DI combo. So I've kind of, so not exactly this pattern will get repeated, but this is just an average or rather a median of what has happened in the last 5-7 years for 5 sets. I think, Mr. X, this is what you were asking. Okay, that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks a lot for attending the class. Please provide positive feedback at the end so that I can continue to take these classes in future as well. Bye, guys. Bye, X. Bye, Atisha. Bye, Rohit. Thank you all for taking out time today.